Are you fed up trying to keep your items organized in Minecraft? I am, and I can't tell you how many times I try my hardest to keep things organized, and before we know it, it's a complete tip. So stay tuned, because today we're going to be building a fully automatic item sorter. So without any further ado, let's do this. Start by building two 8-block high pillars with an 8-block gap between them. Place a row of upside down stairs on the 3rd block up from the bottom. Now we are going to add 2 rows of double chests from one side to the other, making sure that we are 1 block back from the main pillar. Next we're going to add another 2 rows of double chests on top of the upside down stairs at the front, making sure that these chests are 1 block forward from the ones below. Now we're going to add a row of upside down stairs above the row of chests on the very top. We'll place glowstone on top and then cover them with some trapdoors. Now we will add just a few details to finish off the frame. Next we're going to add the redstone. First of all, we're going to start by adding some glowstone behind the upside down stairs. This step is optional, but it does help create a nice bit of lighting when you're in a dark room. We're then going to grab our hoppers and we're going to place them going into the back of all of our chests. On the top row, we're going to add another hopper going into the top of the top one, and we're going to place one coming out of the back of them. We will start with the redstone at the bottom. From one side, you want to leave a 1 block gap and place a row of blocks of your choice. Behind these, we're going to go ahead and place some redstone torches, making sure that they are facing into the blocks. Next, we're going to place a block on top and bring our row all the way across. Behind the block, we're going to place a repeater going into the block. We're going to place another row of blocks just behind. And then we will bring our blocks just out by 2 to cover up all of the redstone. You should now have something that looks like this. In front of our row of hoppers, we're going to place a comparator facing outwards. We're then going to grab our hoppers and we're going to place a hopper going into the comparator, making sure that it is facing into it and not facing downwards. Finally, we're going to add our redstone all the way across the top blocks here and bring it down to the lower ones just here. Now, get your packed ice. And we're going to place one at this end and one at this end. We're then going to get a glass block, place one here and place one just here. We're going to bring the glass all the way down and we're going to place another one just here. This is going to be where our water stream will go. Now we're going to repeat this pattern on the blocks above, except this one will be sitting 1 block back. So we will start by making the frame. So we will place 1 block here, 2 more behind it, place 1 in the middle with 2 more coming out, 1 underneath in the center here and break the middle one. We're going to be having our comparator here. we'll be having redstone on these 3 blocks, our comparator facing this way, and then our redstone torch just under here. We're going to repeat that all the way across. Once we have that all in place, we're going to head to our hopper line at the back here, and again we're going to face some hoppers going into our comparators. Then we're going to come to one side, we're going to place a packed ice this side. Make sure this is packed ice and not normalized, because normalized will just melt. Then we're going to place a row of glass coming all the way down, and again we will do the same down this side here. Next, we're going to add slabs above our packed ice. Make sure you place it on the upper half of the block and not the lower part. Once you have this in place, you want to decide which side you want your items coming from and which way you want them to filter. You want them to filter across the top and then drop down into the bottom rows. Now this system can be expanded as much as you want, so you can place this as long as you want, but you must make sure that you have an 8-block gap between your pillars so that you can have a ice block so that you can slide your items under to the next stream of water, because water will only travel 8 blocks, so you must have a gap in between each section. I'm going to start by placing a water stream just here because my items are going to come in from this side. This side they're going to be dropping down, so I want to make sure that I have my water source going the opposite direction. Now we're going to grab our glass and we're going to place 1, 2, 3 like this, and another 3 on this side. Then we're going to place 3 on the bottom. At the very top here we're going to place 2 and then 2, and then we're going to place 2 just here. We're going to bring this one here all the way up to connect to here, and then we're going to place another slab right about there. Then we're just going to cover the rest of this bit with the glass like so. Now, because our water stream is coming this way, we want the items to be fed this direction. So we will place our water just here. We'll place another water stream just here. If you want to, just to be safe, you can place a couple of glass blocks here so that they are all boxed in so that they do not fall out of the system. At the very top here, I'm just going to add a row of glass all the way across the top here just to make sure nothing falls out of the top there. This area is pretty closed in, so we won't bother with doing it here. Next, we're going to add the item input, and this part is very important because many of these systems don't work correctly, and the reason they don't work is because items get filtered through the system too fast that the hoppers don't have enough time to filter one item, and then another item comes over the top, and because it's still filtering an item, it will allow that item to pass over the system and end up in the item overflow chest at the end. Now, to prevent this, we're going to add a timer that will slow down the items going through the system and allow them to be filtered in correctly. So to do this, we're going to start at this side and we're going to place 4 blocks coming out here at the very top where we want our items to go into the system. We'll place 4 blocks at these 2 sides here like this. And then we're going to grab a dropper. Now this is very important. Make sure this is a dropper and not a dispenser. We're then going to get a water bucket and place it just here. Then we're just going to get some glass and then cover up the section like so. Then on the side here, we're going to break this block and we're going to place a full block of your choice. On the top of the block below, we're going to place 2 slabs and we're going to bring them all the way over. Now these can be 4 blocks if you want, but I'm going to use slabs for the purpose of this video. Next, we're going to grab our comparators and we're going to place 1 directly behind the dropper facing outwards, leave a 1 block gap, place another one here and put it in subtract mode. We're then going to place a repeater behind it and a repeater going into this block just here, and we're going to put this on 4 ticks just like this, and then we can place redstone on the rest of our blocks like so. Now before we move any further, I do like to cover up some of the redstone to protect it. So To do this, I just like to cover up where the redstone torches and the repeaters are like this, and do it on the top blocks just here as well. And of course we will do that on the opposite side here. The reason I do this is because if water accidentally overflows in the system anywhere for some reason, it's not going to touch the redstone and wreck it, so we ain't going to have to fix anything if it does. Now that is the system pretty much done. So the next thing you want to do is work out where you want your input to go, and you can just filter it in some hoppers like this, and then you can place your input chest at the very top or wherever you want. You can filter it down. If this is in an underground base, you can run some hoppers up to your chest, and then I'll put a chest on the top and then filter it down into the system. It's entirely up to you. Now for me, I like to use the last chest or a few of the last chests for filtering my overflow items. So say for instance we want these 4 chests here to be for overflow items, then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and just remove these 2 here for the overflow protection. So let's just get rid of these. Now basically what will happen, let's just cover up that redstone there. Now what will happen now will be that the items that come through the system, once they get to the end here, so once they get to this chest, they will start filling up this item here. So if they're not on the filter of the system at all, then their overflow will go to here. Once these 2 chests are filled up, they will filter over to this one. Next we need to create an item to put in the system that can't be filtered. So to do this, we're going to place down an anvil and we're going to rename some dirt. And we're going to call this something random, something that's completely different to something in the game. Let's call it Jimbo. And then we're going to grab that, and then we're going to go ahead, get rid of this. Now what we're going to do in all of our hoppers to start with, we're going to go ahead, we'll click on one, and we're basically going to put 4 items like that. Okay, leaving that first one empty. And we're going to do that in all of the system. Now we can see that our items are all active. So what we just need to do is put in 41 of the items that we want to filter in each chest. So for this top chest here, we're going to start by filtering diamonds. As you can see, the number is going to count down and it will stop when it gets to 41. As you can see, it's all working nicely. So let's go ahead and put our other items that we want to filter in to each chest. Once you're done, it's probably a good idea to add some item frames so that you can indicate what items are going into each of your chests. And then with that being said, let's go up here and let's input our items. We've got some items that will be sorted and some that won't. And let's see how well it filters into the system. As you can see, there's a little bit of a delay on the items being filtered into the streams, and that way it allows each item to filter properly to where it should be without getting caught in the system or overflowing into the overflow chest when it shouldn't be. So let's go ahead and leave that to run for a minute and see if the items all filter correctly. Okay, looks like our items are all filtered. Let's take a look. As you can see, the items in here are the ones that were not stackable into our sorting system, and the rest looks like it has all been filtered in. We have no overflow on any of these. So perfect, it's all working. We should have a bunch of diamonds, and yeah, everything else has all been sorted in perfectly. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like, and I'll catch you in the next one.